to Adventure Stories ASMR!
Hello, ghosts and ghouls, and welcome to the Adventure Stories Halloween Special. Today will be 4 tales of true horror, spoken by 3 of your favorite characters, William, Haru, and Samuel. Thank you for joining me, and enjoy the show. Alright, we're all settled in and are ready to start telling our stories.
Wait, we're starting now?
Yeah, he wanted us to start now.
Oh, okay.
Our first story is entitled The Angel Statue.
Oh boy.
Shh! A few years ago, a mother and father decided they needed a break, so they wanted to head out for a night on the town. They called their most trusted babysitter. When the babysitter arrived, the 2 children were already fast asleep in bed, so the babysitter just got to sit around and make sure everything was okay with the children.
So far, so good?
Later that night, the babysitter got bored and went to watch TV. But she couldn't watch it downstairs because they did not have cable downstairs. The parents didn't want children to watch too much garbage. So, she called them and asked them if she could watch cable in the parents' room. Of course, the parents said it was okay, but the babysitter had one final request. She asked if she could cover up the angel statue outside the bedroom window with a blanket or cloth, because it made her nervous. The phone line was silent for a moment, and the father who was talking to the babysitter at the time said, "Take the children and get out of the house. We'll call the police. We don't own an angel statue." The police found both of the children and the babysitter slumped in pools of their own blood within 3 minutes of the call. No statue was ever found.
Oh, guys! Ah, it's terrifying.
Actually, I thought that was pretty good. Me too. But our next story should be told by Haru.
Wait, me?
Of course. Go on. Step right up. Come on.
I don't like reading these scary stories. Fine. Okay, what's this one? The portraits. Phew, I can do this. There was a hunter in the woods who, after a long day hunting, was in the middle of an immense forest. It was getting dark, and having lost his bearings, he decided to head in one direction until it was clear of the increasingly oppressive foliage. After what seemed like hours, he came across a cabin in a small clearing. Oh boy. Realizing how dark it had grown, he decided to see if he could stay there for the night. He approached and found the door ajar. Nobody was inside. The hunter flopped down on the single bed, deciding to explain himself to the owner in the morning. As he looked around the inside of the cabin, he was surprised to see the walls adorned by several portraits, all painted in incredible detail. Without exception, they appeared to be staring down at him, their features twisted into looks of hatred and malice. Oh. Staring back, he grew increasingly uncomfortable, making a concerted effort to ignore the many hateful faces. He turned to face the wall, and exhausted, he fell into a restless sleep. The next morning, the hunter awoke. He turned, blinking in unexpected sunlight, Looking up, he discovered that the cabin had no portraits, only windows. Oh! Oh, God! Okay, I'm done. I'm done.
My turn. This one's called The Old House. We bought an old house. My girlfriend and I. She's in charge of the new construction, converting the kitchen into the master bedroom, for instance. While I'm away and on wallpaper removal duty, the previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal, but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. Actually, I agree with that. I do like peeling my skin.
Ew, it's disgusting.
I do it all the time. I don't know about you. I kind of make a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips.
It's
Very true. Under a corner section of paper, in every room, is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person. The missing date matching the date under the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was for a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out the crime scene team. I overheard one tech say, "Yep, it's human." Human? What's human? Sir, where is the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing.
oh God, no.
Oh, come on, stop your sniveling. It's not that bad. It's just human skin.
Oh God. I don't know how much more I can take of this.
Well, you won't have to take much more, because I have one last story to tell you all. It's the best of the bunch. Oh, good God. Oh, yes. This story. It's simply called Expressionless.
I can't even look at this image. Oh God. Hold me.
In June 1972, a woman appeared in Cedars-Sinai Hospital in nothing but a white, blood-covered gown. Now this, in itself, should not be too surprising, as people often have accidents nearby and come to the nearest hospital for medical attention. But there were two things that caused people who saw her to vomit and flee in terror. The first being that she wasn't exactly human. She resembled something close to a mannequin, but had the dexterity and fluidity of a normal human being. Her face was as flawless as a mannequin's, devoid of eyebrows and smeared-in makeup. There was a kitten clamped in her jaws, so unnaturally tight that no teeth could be seen, and blood was still squirting out over her gown and onto the floor.
Oh, go.
She then pulled it out of her mouth, tossed it aside, and collapsed. From the moment she stepped through the entrance to when she was taken to a hospital room and cleaned up before being prepped for sedation, she was completely calm, expressionless, and motionless. The doctors thought it best to restrain her until the authorities could arrive, and she did not protest. They were unable to get any kind of response from her, and most staff members felt too uncomfortable to look directly at her for more than a few seconds. But the second the staff tried to sedate her, she fought back with extreme force. 2 members of staff had to hold her down as her body rose up on the bed with that same blank expression. She turned her emotionless eyes towards the male doctor and did something unusual. She smiled. As she did, the female doctor screamed and let go in shock. In the woman's mouth were not human teeth, but long, sharp spikes, too long for her mouth to close fully without causing any damage. The male doctor stared back at her for a moment before asking, "What in the hell are you?" She cracked her neck down to her shoulder to observe him, still smiling. There was a long pause. The security had been alerted and could be heard coming down the hallway. As they heard them approach, she darted forward, sinking her teeth into the front of his throat, ripping out his jugular and letting him fall to the floor, gasping for air as he choked on his own blood. She stood up and leaned over him, her face coming dangerously close to his as the life faded from his eyes. She leaned closer and whispered in his ear, "I am God." The doctor's eyes filled with fear as he watched her calmly walk away to greet the security men. His last ever sight would be watching her feast on them one by one. The female doctor who survived the incident named her the Expressionless. There was never a sighting of her ever again.
Oh, God! Oh, God, so scary! Oh, William, hold me!
Okay, sorry, that's enough.
No, don't let me go!
Get off me. I can't breathe.
I'm gonna sleep with you tonight, is that okay?
Fine. That actually was a really good story.
I thought so too. That's why I saved it for last. I hope you guys enjoyed those 4 scary stories. 4 creepypastas.
I sure did.
I didn't, but that's okay.
Thank you guys for joining me for those 4 creepypasta stories. And thank you to Haru, William, and Samuel for reading them.
You're welcome, dude.
Anytime.
Of course! Whenever there's a scary story, you know I'll be there in an instant. If you guys liked those scary stories and you'd like to hear more or something similar in the future, leave a like and subscribe. And I'll be sure to make another one soon. I want to thank my girlfriend, Cassie, for drawing all the new art for Sammy, Haru, and William. Round of applause for her. She's an amazing artist, and she did so well in all of them, and I hope you like their new designs. And you'll be seeing more of them in the future in their own videos, so check that out later. I hope you guys have a very good holiday and have a very spooky Halloween. And thanks for joining me. And remember, as always, to stay spooky.